it, but I try. If I'm wrong, just tell me that I'm right. Let me tell you something about my life.
Christmas tradition. Gotta get it in the night before Christmas. Look back at it. She ain't never do this shit, but she good at it. Cause she never made love, but she good at it. She never make it feel good when I look at it. I get goosebumps when I look at it. Oh, girl, just wanna have fun with it. Oh, girl, just wanna have fun with me. These girls ain't really no good for me. Yeah, look back at it. Woo! She never made love, but she good at it. That's how you fucking warm up. Get fired up real quick. Woo! Merry Christmas, y'all. It's the 24th. Enjoy the ad-free video. My blessing to y'all for supporting. Turning ads off. I have my own tradition. I've been doing it since I was a freshman in high school, which is to get into my home gym and to just chase a pump, remember why I started, and kind of do a little mini mind recap on the year. And so, you guys know I vlogged my last one. I watched it before this. Holy shit, do I feel like I've changed so much from that video. I was a little bit of a douchebag. Still am. A little bit less so. So, this video I'm gonna be just kind of like recapping everything that's happened through me throughout the year, what I've learned, how I grew, what I want to focus on in 2026, like my plans for that. And honestly, there's a good chance I go over none of that because my main goal is to just have fun today. Usually when I come into the gym, I have some sort of set plan that I want to get into, stuff that I want to progress on. Today, we're pump chasing. I'm excited. Oh, and also, 6 months post-op, that means I get to start running again after it. I fucking love running. I did not like running before I got injured. And now, it's kind of like in COVID when nobody ever cared to walk outside or go on walks. But then once COVID hit, everybody felt the need to like go running in the street. It's like once you lose something, it becomes incredibly important to you. So that's how I feel about running now. Because all I ever want to do is run. Like I would almost rather just hit like an hour-long run. But I want to actually look jacked. So not going to do that. We're going to lift some fucking weight. Time to get after it. Y'all are gonna think this is pretty stupid. Do not follow what I'm doing today. This is a horrible setup. We're just pump chasing and having fun. You're gonna see what I mean when I have to put this back. I'm actually suffering from success because my dumbbells don't go up high enough in weight to do shoulder press. So I'm doing 205 on the barbell. Barbell overhead press is the sketchiest thing. Especially if you have a ratchet ass setup like me. Here we go. Change the music. Jeez, what is this? Now you guys get to listen to what I listen to. So why don't we actually get the right music going, right? Come on! Come on! Holy shit! That was so stupid. It's like I have to lean forward and like pray that this gets caught. injustice of not playing the best part of the song just because I wasn't hitting a set during it. So I'm gonna bless y'all ears real quick. I'm fired! Oh! Ah! Y'all can have it back. Whew! What's up, beautiful people? I am so amped for this lift. Got 300 milligrams of caffeine pumping through my veins, and I just realized that this lighting is kind of buns, so I'm going to hit a set and then change it and then talk about what I am pumped about. As for this year, you guys are not going to expect what I'm going to say, and then what we got going on next year. Woo, baby! Fuck yeah! Oh my God. What was that, 17 reps at the 85s? What a phenomenal start. We're gonna do this one more time. That was just cardio. Why do I even incline walk when I could just do my cardio at the same time of a lift if I just use 85-pound dumbbells? Work smarter, not harder, guys. Come on. Last vlog before, where's my mic? You guys probably can't hear me. So, like what I was saying is, I watched my last Liftmas vlog last year compared to this one, and I feel like I've changed so much. So, I want to use these videos once per year to document the most important parts of everything that has happened in this year, so I can look back in 2026 at the very end, next year from now, and be like, wow, that is what I decided to do that year. This is what happened. So I want to start off with just the biggest thing that I have not talked about on camera yet, and I dropped out of college. A lot of you probably think I either finished school, never went to school, or have never heard me talk about school, and I had only one semester left, and I dropped out. I went all in on my dream of doing this and coaching full time. And boy, oh boy, did that fucking pay off. I'm sure everybody has a lot of questions like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe there was only one semester left. How could you go through with this? You were so close. Why didn't you just finish? You're at the final stretch of the marathon. You're on mile 26 and you decided to walk out of bounds and leave and go home. I decided to drop out of college. For about 2 years, I've been going back and forth on this idea, and I decided to keep staying in, and every single time I made that decision to stay in school, it was the safe decision, and I always felt bad about it after I decided to stay. And then I would recircle back to it a couple months or a couple weeks later, come to the same conclusion, and then decide to stay in. And this happened a couple periods of times. I even posted about it in a video once, and everybody was like super, lighting is good. Everyone was super one-sided. You need to finish school because it's a good plan B. For what you're doing, you don't need school. I've seen a ton of people that are super successful that never get their degrees. Very, very set on their opinion. And so this is my opinion on it. If you want to become an engineer, if you want to become a doctor, if you want to become a lawyer, you need to get your degree. You cannot make those things happen without that. It is a requirement. I understand that. Additionally, if you have no clue what you want to do in life and you want to network to find like-minded individuals to connect with, to eventually figure that out, college can potentially be a great place for you. That didn't help me at all, but it can be for others. So those are like the examples of why I think college could be a good idea for a lot of people. However, for my specific circumstance, I was burnt the fuck out. I was taking 8 classes in my last semester, and I realized that I would never forgive myself if I knew deep in my heart that I should not get this degree and decided to pursue it anyways just because what had been programmed into me from everybody around me growing up and up until that point. So this is coming into my probably biggest life lesson of 2025 that I want to reflect on. This is number 1. The people's opinions who you care about live lives you do not want to emulate. Fix that. I cared way too much about people whose opinions were closest to me, family and friends. It was honestly, because I did social media, I'd get a lot of opinions from people who were not close to me. And I cared deeply and put a lot of thought into other people's opinions. That was wrong. Because deep in my heart, I knew that going all in on my passion and my business and what I was obsessed with and all that I wanted to do when I woke up in the morning was do content, do fitness, and help other people achieve their transformations. And by the way, holy shit, did I help people this year. Look at some of these transformations. I'm just going to pop them on screen. In 2025, you genuinely changed so many fucking people's lives, Dirk. This is insane. Because I'm talking to myself 1 year from now when I rewatch this video. I am so fucking proud of you for what you did. And I feel like a lot of people get so sucked into the day-to-day that they don't get to zoom out and think big picture about what they genuinely achieved within 12 months. And it's important that you do that. Because if you don't, then you never get to reward yourself. And I don't mean reward yourself like I'm going to go out for fucking ice cream tonight. I mean like I get to reward myself knowing that I kept the promises I made to myself, which are truly the only ones that ever matter, which is that I believed in myself. And so the way that I was able to come to my final conclusion about how I should totally drop out, and oh my gosh, my battery might die while I'm saying this. If it cuts out, damn it. I realized that if I had one day left at school and there was one more day before I graduated and I graduated it, I would have regretted that decision for the rest of my life because I knew that it was not the right route for me and that every single minute that was spent in school any longer was a waste of my time and that I did not have the balls to do what I knew was right. What I knew was right. Not what everybody else knew was right, but what I knew was right. And because of that decision, within a couple months, my business has done so much better because I've been able to put so much more effort into it, and my clients have gotten so many more successful transformations just because of that decision. So not only have you helped your life, Dirk, you have helped so many other people's lives. Way to fucking bet on yourself. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I was terrified. My mom and my grandparents, you're cut off. We're not financially supporting you. There's no more groceries, there's no more rent, there's no more utilities, there's no more nothing. And low key, they weren't gonna say it to my face, but I knew which way they were leaning really hard and they would have been very disappointed. And I still bet on myself. And it still paid off. And I'm so fucking glad that I took that bet. And so I'm speaking now to the person who's thinking about taking that bet, whether it's quitting that job or going all in on that thing or investing in the company or having that hard conversation with yourself or someone else that needs to be done that you keep pushing off to the side. Fucking do it. Fucking do it. Because guess what? You will achieve one of two outcomes. You will be so thankful that you did, just like how I am in this moment right now, or you will learn. And if you fuck up, at least when you fuck up, you have data to act on because now you have some sort of experience, whether it is net negative, net positive, or neutral. You have an outcome. And with that, with more predictable outcomes, you can make wiser future decisions. The people who expect things to change without changing anything themselves are delusional. You need to put it into action. Nobody is coming to save you. And I realize that. And so I could have done the safe route. I could have just finished college and I could have gotten the degree. But then for the rest of my life, I would have been thinking, why the fuck didn't I have the balls to do what I knew I should have done when I was a sophomore in college? And I decided to stay in there for years afterwards just because I was afraid of what might happen. I was afraid. I was, you know what it was? There's only two pains in life because pain is a fixed cost of life. But there's only two types of pain that is a fixed cost. There is the pain of suffering and there's the pain of regret. And every single day that I stayed in school, I was suffering the pain of regret. I knew what was right in my heart. And I still wasn't acting on it because I was influenced by people I both knew and didn't know. In fact, when I came back for Christmas break right now, yesterday, I met up with some of my friends from my high school, and I rarely do this, but I met up with them, and they were like, hey, Dirk, what are you doing? And I said, I dropped out. And they were like, oh my gosh, no. And I was like, I did. And guess what? You won't believe this. Almost like rubbing it in. I was like, I only had like 3 more months to go, and I would have got the degree, and I dropped out. They're like, oh my gosh, how could you do that? And I was like, I know. You guys won't even get it. Like, I could have easily just got my way through and just finished, but I decided to drop out at the last stretch. And they were like, Jesus, you seem like you're really, really happy about this in like a sadistic sense. Like, how could you be happy about this? And I was ecstatic, and I still am ecstatic. Every single day that I think about that moment that I dropped out and went all in on my business and in my passions and in what I wanted to do in my life and how I've helped so many other people, I am so fucking glad that I did it. So fucking glad. Woo! Where's my phone? I need some music for the set. Switching up the topic for a second. Come back to California. This is why I'm moving to Florida. I come back to California. I'm like, man, my shit is so chopped. I need a haircut so bad. I'm filming a YouTube video today. What am I gonna do? I find the closest open place, get squeezed in for a 15-minute haircut. 15 minutes. That's how much time he allowed me. He was going fast as fuck. 15-minute haircut. $50. $50. 15-minute cut. Just and then here's the thing. He was this like Italian old dude. And I get in that chair. I'm like, okay, I want to taper. I'm not going to lie. I actually didn't tell him that much. So these are how my usual cut thought process goes. I'm a pretty straightforward dude with these things. I don't really know what I like. Usually I just show a picture, but I didn't have one ready. So when I sat down in the chair, he was like, what do you like? And I just had my hair how I liked it. And so I said probably the stupidest thing possible and said, it's like this, but I want it shorter. Oh my God. And he delivered. It is very short. Didn't do the taper like I wanted it. Did not cut it how I wanted it. But the hair is shorter. So can I really be disappointed? I kind of have to eat that one. He was throwing my head around like it was a fucking volleyball. Jesus. Anyways, Yeah, I dropped out. That was the best decision of my life. It was the hardest decision of my life, and it was also the best decision of my life. And I'm sure everybody has so many questions. How could you do it when you're so close? Well, the thing is if I graduated, I would have never forgave myself. I would have forever regretted the fact that I didn't have the balls to do what I truly knew was right in my heart. And since I've made that decision, it has paid off tenfold. Tenfold. Not just in, obviously, the financial aspect with me growing my business, not in the aspect of me being able to achieve more transformations, which helps my business because it's like, holy shit, I am genuinely changing fucking people's lives. And then because of that, great word of mouth, more people want to work with me, which means the business improves, right? It's a very simple model. But my happiness, tenfold. All I do is do the shit that I love. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you guys know I like to walk around and answer your guys' questions all the time and ramble on about different things. And one of the questions that I had was, you never show us your hobbies. All we ever do is see you in the gym and talking about self-improvement. Why am I throwing my arms? Talking about self-improvement. And it's like, yeah, because guess what? That's what makes me fucking happy. I'm not going to lie. I'm not an alien. I like the feeling of being intoxicated. I also like watching sports. I also like turning my brain off and watching TV and playing sports and going to the beach. I like going to the movies. I like eating junk food. I like doing all this shit that everybody gets dopamine from. The thing is I get so much more fulfillment, so much more dopamine from working, lifting, and helping others. Why would I do anything else? And so when people ask me, like, because sometimes I'll get on the phone with someone and they'll be like, oh, I know it's the holidays, or I know whatever, like, I don't want to be hitting you up too much. And I'm like, dude, all I fucking do is this. This is all I do. And I love doing this. This is my full-time job. I do it 365 a year. And I could not be more fulfilled. Could not be more fulfilled. Like, I make money fucking helping people. Dirk, look back at this in 1 year and fucking pat yourself on the back, bro. You created this. You would not have been able to create this if you did not make the sacrifices that you knew you had to make, but were unwilling to because of the thoughts that were programmed into you from others. Others who lived lives that you did not want to emulate, and for some reason, you were holding on to their opinions for dear life, like they mattered so much in your hand. Thank God you did what you did. Oh my gosh. Let's move on to lesson number 2. Lesson number 2 was business and personal need to be separated. There was a time period where I attached my self-worth to my net worth and into all of the drama that ever came forth in my business. I had an independent contractor, without getting too into the nitty-gritty because you guys aren't going to care about the specifics of the situation, but I had a big disagreement with somebody who worked with me. This person who worked with me, they were helping me on the content side of things, like whatever. What they did was they made my life easier in the sense of like I could film content and then put it out. I paid them a certain amount, whatever. Listen, I got into a big disagreement with this person who worked for me for these tasks, and basically we went back and forth, and I lost a lot of sleep over it because I had a financial, business, and ethical dilemma all wrapped into one. Maybe I'll go more in depth in the future, but right now that's as vague as I'm going to keep it. And I lost so much sleep of it because I couldn't separate these two things. I was tying my self-worth into this one thing, and that is a big problem. You are not the sum of one fucking thing. Whether that is your physique, whether that is your relationships, it's your hobbies, it's your business, you are not the sum of one thing. So if one thing is deteriorating, failing you, or in some way getting worse, you, as a human being, are not 100% connected to that. You could be failing or plateauing in a lot of areas. And I'm actually really, really passionate about this because it is okay to be at your lowest. It is okay to be in the worst spot you've ever been in financially, morally, business, relationships, any aspect of your life. It is okay to be fucking stuck, but it's not okay to stay there. It's not okay to stay there. And so my mental health went through the absolute gutter because of a situation that I could have handled a lot better than I did. And me being able to acknowledge that and realize that there were other aspects of my life that I was passionate and grateful for pulled me out of this hole, realizing that I am not a bad person if one aspect isn't as perfect as I would like it to be. You guys know I suffer from OCD, and the problem with OCD is the obsessions that you tie the compulsions onto with that disorder, right? Obsessive compulsive disorder, the obsession. And so the obsession with your physique, with your business, with your relationships, with your friendships, with all the things that are going on. I always go in depth onto those 4 specific things, but you guys know there's a lot more to life than just that, with all the hobbies and whatnot, the mental health. And so like, I try to perfect every area of my life, but it will never be fucking perfect. Just like in the same sense, when somebody wants to start something new, they wait for conditions to be perfect, when instead you just need to perfect your conditions. Things will never be perfect. You will never have the right time to start. You will never have the room to breathe as much as you would like to. Something will fill that new vacancy whenever you do get that fresh of breath air, and it will get sucked out from your lungs again. So instead of waiting, understand and assess your current situation so that you can grow even when it is uncomfortable. I know that was vague advice, but I wanted to hit on to everybody and myself in the future, because there's a good chance in 2026 I will be going through a very similar thing. You never know. I feel like people struggle with this a lot, connecting their self-worth to one specific thing without actually understanding that there's so much more aspects to life and there's so much more things that you have to be grateful for. What a life it is, man. What a life it is. A little bit of rain never hurt nobody. Okay, here's the next biggest life lesson I had this year. People are going to have an opinion no matter what. People are going to care. If you do absolutely nothing with your life and you just sit there and you fuck about smoking weed, playing video games, eating chips, wasting, rotting away, people are going to have an opinion about you. If you never go for the thing that you tell people that you want to go for, people are going to have an opinion about you. And get this. Once you finally go for that thing, once you finally go in on that thing that you've been considering for so long, people are going to have an opinion on you. So if you're going to get an opinion on you, no matter what, you might as well start fucking swinging. You might as well go fucking big. Go in on the idea that you have. Make it happen. Like, when I started social media, everybody gave me so much shit. Oh, Dirk's doing his little cute content thing. Look at him. He's making these stupid videos. He got 7 likes. What an imbecile. Oh, Dirk is starting to get a little bit more following now, but I guess he's going to start a business. What a dummy. He doesn't know how hard it's going to be. He doesn't have a business degree. That's not going to come to fruition. Oh, Dirk is getting some clients now. He can transform his body. He's done fitness a little bit, but he doesn't know what it's like, helping somebody out who's 60 years old or who's skinny, chubby, or who's been overweight his whole life. He's not going to be able to help them. Dirk doesn't know what he's doing. Like, no matter what, there's always the next level, and there's going to be the next thing for me. Like, I'm going to do fitness my entire life, and I'm going to help people in some way regarding fitness or self-improvement my entire life, because that's what I genuinely obsess about. I'm super passionate. That's all I want to spend my time doing. And it's like, at every single pivotal step of my career trying to get to the next level, I have been judged. And get this, before I ever took any of those steps, I was also getting judged. I was also getting the Dirk just fucking... God, he lives with, he just doesn't do shit. Like, he doesn't do shit. I was a loser. I thought of myself as a loser. Like the crazy thing is other people before I went after my goals thought I was a loser, and I also thought I was a loser. I had a lot of self-pity, what's the right word? Not hatred. It's not like I hated myself, but I guess I just had a lot of regret knowing what could be and never making it happen. And I was getting all of these opinions coming at me anyways, and my own opinion on myself was also negative. So it's like, if I could at least have a positive opinion about myself, even though I'm going to get negative opinions no matter what, like, in fact, me going for my thing probably exponentially increased the amount of negativity that came my way for two reasons. Number one, social media, people are ruthless. I get some of the meanest shit ever said to me, and all I talk about is self-improvement, and people still, for some reason, always give me shit. Number two, whenever people see me actually start to achieve the things that I said I was set out to actually achieve, it almost, instead of inspiring a lot of people, it kind of pushes this sense of either regret or, I guess, projects their insecurities knowing that they aren't currently going after what they want to be going after. And that's a very cold feeling because it feels kind of, well, I felt it for many, many years when I was just doing nothing with my life and I was rotting away. And for some people wake up at 40 and some people wake up at literally 20 or 21 or 16 or 28 or 37 or 60. Like, at some point, you have to wake up and you have to realize that if you are unhappy, the only person that's going to be able to change that is going to be you. And so, I'm not going to lie, the path to self-improvement, it's not an easy one. There's going to be a lot of negativity that comes your way, both in how your own mind works and how other people process the actions that you're trying to take. So be very, very cognitive of your environment, because that's one of the few things that you have somewhat control over, and your own mind and time. So, like, the one thing that you truly have control over, Dirk, this is the thing that I've probably improved on the most this year in 2025, is going to be focus. I am ruthless with my focus. So whenever people, like when I come back home, some of my friends will ask me, hey, are you free at whatever, or what are you doing right now? And I have gotten to the point where I am so ruthless protecting my own focus that I'll actually tell people that I'm doing nothing and then still not agree to hang out. Hey, Dirk, are you busy right now? No, I'm not doing anything. Okay, cool. You want to hang out? No. Why not? Because I don't want to. And you know what? Me saying no in that current situation is me saying yes to all the things that I prioritize. Because your peace, your focus, and your environment, meaning who you surround yourself with, is of utmost priority and is one of the few things in life that is completely in your control, to a degree. I mean, when I was 16 years old and I was living with my stepdad that I fucking hated, that was out of my control. Couldn't run away, whatever. Man, I just completely got sidetracked. But if you're an adult, you have those things that are in your control. And so when I say no to hanging out with people who I think might be a potential negative influence on me, not even a guarantee negative influence, but a potential one, I protect my peace and my focus at all costs, because that time that I could spend doing literally nothing but recovering so that I could go full throttle when it's time to act is so much more important than the times where I actually am busy, when I am working. So like, if somebody asked me, Dirk, you got to come out tonight because so-and-so is going to be there. It's like, I can't come out tonight because I'm doing nothing instead, and nothing is so much more important to me, which is a crazy mindfuck to think about. But if you can master the art of focus, you inherently become the best version of yourself. That was the one skill. I'm not talented any more so than whoever is watching this video. I don't have better genetics than you. You should look at my family lineage. I'm like a complete outlier. I'm not smarter than you. I didn't get very good grades in high school. I was barely passing my classes in college. I am not inherently better at anybody else at any single thing except focus. And the greatest thing is, if you can master this one skill, if you could be more focused than everybody, then you achieve everything else that you could ever imagine because of all the skills that come with it. If you give yourself two options, focus on the shit that matters, do nothing else, guess what? You get all of your dopamine, all of your enjoyment, and all of your drive into doing that one thing. It's really easy to build a business if you focus 100% on your business and nothing else. If you're not sleeping in, if you're not watching movies, if you're not eating out, if you just focus on building this business, you will fucking love building this business. In the same sense of you could switch building a business with improving your fitness, improving your relationships, spending more time with your kids. You could be doing literally anything, getting really, really fucking good at one skill, or trying to get a new position at your job, working really hard on that. Like there's a million different things. Whatever it is that you're really trying to get after in life, if you give yourself two options, focus on one task or do nothing else, you will learn to do that one thing. And so that is the single best thing that I probably learned in 2025 was the skill of focus, because I had been making incremental steps of pushing myself away from others and kind of protecting my peace in a sense. In 2024, I started to be a little bit more careful. I would make up excuses when people told me that they wanted to do things with me. Dirk, let's hang out. So-and-so is in town for the night. I can't do it, man. I'm really busy with whatever, school, this one thing. I would make excuses. And those excuses protected my peace in the short term, but they don't in the long term, because at the end of the day, you still have to worry about the runaround of that person finding out that you were lying to them, and you thinking in the back of your head, oh man, I hope they don't realize that I don't actually have a reasonable excuse. Or even better yet, maybe you do have a valid excuse, but you still don't need to give it to them. Protect your fucking peace like it matters more than anything else in the world. Your focus is the one true thing that you can control in life. You need it. You need to be able to protect that. So just say fucking no, because saying no is saying yes to the one thing that matters. Even if that means saying yes to doing literally nothing. Because that time, when it's 9 p.m., I have 30 minutes before I'm going to go to bed, I need to outline exactly what I'm going to do to win the next day, to win the week, to focus on the shit that matters. That 30 minutes of spent doing nothing is the most valuable time that I have. I can completely control how I spend that with my focus. Whereas if I went out and I hung around so-and-so and they start telling me about all the BS and the drama that's going on in their life, I, just by being in that proximity, am influenced to some degree. I hope you guys can hear the passion in my voice when I explain this, because when I rewatch this in 1 year, I want to make sure that I am the exact same individual who I am today, because who I am today is ruthless about focus, and that one single skill has been able to accomplish everything that I could have ever had hoped for. And now my goal for 2026 is to dream fucking bigger. Dream bigger. Because in 2024, I had all these visions for myself, and I did make them happen. And in 2025, I made all of them happen again. In 2026, the goal is to not make my fucking dreams happen, because I've dreamt so big that I will not be able to make them happen. And in that sort of sadistic sense, I will finally be happy knowing that I am trying to set out for something that's almost impossible for me to achieve. Man. What is life? What is my chopped ass haircut? Look at this shit. I need some Demi Lovato or something. My camera's gonna overheat because I'm rambling so long. I need your time when everything's wrong. You make it right. I feel so high. I come alive. I need to be free with you tonight. Jeez. Like 40 minutes into this lift, I've done 2 exercises. Or 3. I can't even count. Also, another win in 2025 was finding out that nose strips are a thing. Jesus, did that change my life? I can't take these off. I literally have these on. The only time I have one off is when I shower. Then it goes right back on. Not the same one. That's gross. You know what I mean? You know, I got this question yesterday. It was like, would you ever consider doing in-person personal training? Or have you ever trained people in person? And so, to answer that, I have trained people in person, but I would never become an in-person personal trainer. Actually, now that I think about it, it's kind of crazy. I'm going to be working on one of my clients tomorrow. But that was just because me and him have established like this relationship. I'm not training him, like we're just working out as bros together. But I would never become like an actual in-person personal trainer for a couple reasons. Number one, the actual transfer of knowledge and skill set typically does not apply with in-person personal training. The majority of the people who I work with who come to me, they are people who have at one point, a lot of them, not all, have tried in-person personal training and then decided that it wasn't perfect for them, so now they want to work with somebody online. And the thing is when you go to an in-person personal trainer, and I went to one for a while when I started out, I went for like a year and a half or something, the issue is you don't actually develop that skill set yourself. You go in there, you follow the motions, you go through the routines, they track your progression sometimes if you have a good one, and then you don't actually focus on any of the stuff that I've came to learn mattered so much more. All the stuff you're doing outside of the gym, your lifestyle, your habits, your sleep, your nutrition, all of that and more, you don't really dial in. You can just get some general advice if you happen to ask some questions, but let's be real, the majority of people who do in-person personal training treat it more so as like somebody to just make sure that they actually get in there and go through the motions, and then almost maybe even treat it as like a therapy session in some sense. You know what I mean? And that's a big issue, because then you are forever relying on somebody else to see any sort of progression. And so I'll be like, somebody will come to me. This literally happened the other week. Somebody came to me and they were like, yeah, I've been working with an in-person personal trainer for 7 years. And they still weren't training properly because they were just getting adjusted into doing certain movements. They didn't have a deep mind-muscle connection. They didn't understand why they were doing the things that they were doing. And they didn't see the improvements in their physique because they never focused on the shit that mattered most. And it's like, if you go to the gym at least 3 times per week, you're already putting in all of that inputs and getting no outputs for it. Like, I don't know what to say. And so, reason number one is you don't actually help somebody because you don't give them the skill set they need to forever be able to make progress, which is kind of like a fucked thing to think about, because you're like, wow, this person it still can make progress. I'm not going to say it's not like you can't make progress with in-person personal training. You 100% can. But it's like you kind of need to rely on me to be able to make progress. You have to fit those sessions into the personal trainer's calendar. And so it's like, imagine if you were like, man, I really want to work out today. And it's like, oh, someone's sick. I can't make any progress. It's like, what the fuck? Anyways, that's like point number one. And then point number two, I see the passion die for so many in-person personal trainers. Like, it's somebody who genuinely had a love for fitness and then was like, oh, this is great. I love doing this. I want to get paid for what I did, for what I love doing. And that makes total sense. Like, that's what I do. But the thing is like, after you go through it with so many clients and you're like, fuck, I've got 7 people or I've got 4 people to train today. At one point, it feels like you're just going through the motions because you're having similar conversations with people going over and over and over again. And so then, like, I just go into the gym and I see these fuckers that are like on their phone, like telling a 16-year-old kid, okay, yeah, so do 10 reps of dumbbell curls here. That's so sad. And then your passion dies. Or even worse, it's the people who don't practice what they preach. Like, I am more jacked than the in-person personal trainer that I started with. Actually, within like 3 years of me lifting, I kind of surpassed him. To be fair, he was also like 5'9" and 160 pounds. So that was probably on me for choosing him. I didn't choose him. My mom did when I started. I was skinny fat. But yeah, like, any time that I've ever trained somebody, it has only ever been a friend or somebody that I work out with, which I don't even count that as a training session because I'm getting a pump and I'm lifting and I'm, focusing on my progression as well, which is what I'm going to be doing with one of my clients tomorrow. Y'all better not be judging me on this workout. This is not how these usually go. Had to do. At least, I'm not gonna lie, like I don't have a pump. I've been yapping way too much. But I need a physique comparison for the next year, obviously.
I'm kinda older than I was when I was young without a care. So there, we live for cities you'll never see on screen. Not very pretty service. We're on each other's team, and we know we're on each other's team. We're on each other's team, and we know, and we know, and we know.
Ugh. I decided that the thing that I want to do more than anything else is I want to run. So that's how I'm going to cap off this lift. I would love to run. If you guys follow me on Instagram, then you know about my journey of tearing my ACL and then trying to get it back. And I'm 6 months post-op, which means I am finally allowed to run, which is phenomenal. I'm not allowed to run very fast. I'm not allowed to run very long, but I cherish those moments that I spend running. And I hope I get to do that a whole lot more in 2026. Potentially even learn how to golf. That could be a really cool goal. Just kidding, I need to wait 18 months for that, which is ridiculous. What is the goal for 2026? Well, the goal is to dream bigger and to set a goal for myself that will be almost impossible to achieve. Now, I'm not going to reveal what that goal is, because the thing is I have learned time and time again that it's not about getting other people's approval. It's about just getting after it on your own, or sometimes with others, but raw action is going to be the only thing that determines whether or not you're able to actually improve your life. You can talk about it with all your friends, you can get all of your friends' approval. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing. hey, I'm thinking about starting this. I want to make this happen. This is what I'm going to achieve. And the thing is, you give yourself some sort of satisfaction telling people what you're going to do before you do it. And in that sense, it feels like you accomplished it already. So you got the dopamine from it. So doing the actual thing isn't as rewarding anymore. But you know what is fucking rewarding? Making something happen on your own that nobody else knew about, and then finding out about it along the way, or when your results are so fucking prominent that they have no other option but to notice. That's what winners do. You don't need your husband or wife's or girlfriend or boyfriend's approval. You don't need your best friend's approval. You don't need to tell your parents what you're thinking about doing. You need to fucking take action yourself. Make that shit happen. And then once you're successful, or once you fail, and by the way, fail is just a stepping stone to success, so congratulations, you got one step closer. Then, when the results finally show, it will be so much more rewarding. And that's when you get a healthy addiction, almost an obsession in a sense, OCD, to improvement. My entire self-improvement journey started when I was 16, when I got cheated on, and I was at the lowest point in my life. And then I had so many roadblocks along the way, and every single one was just an opportunity to improve. And I hope that in 2026, I'm somebody who is as open-minded as I am right now into looking at those things almost forward-thinking, instead of necessarily having to reflect on them and understanding that those were just opportunities in disguise, but almost appreciating them in the moment. Right now, whenever a new struggle comes my way, I still typically look at it as a struggle until it's overcome, until I overcome it. And I would love for in 2026 to have almost some sort of sadistic, toxic positivity mindset where every single time I get challenged and I'm like, oh, this cannot be worse. Why me? Why now? Instead be like, thank fucking God this is happening to me, because I know that I'm going to grow from it. And because of it, I'm going to get to reap all of the benefits of the struggles. I pity the fool who never gets to see the true beauty in the struggle. So that's what I'm hoping for in 2026. I'm not going to outline my actual goal for y'all, because I am much more about going out and achieving it. And once I fail, because the goal is to fail at that goal, which is a crazy thing to think about. But once I fail, then I'll let y'all know. But and then that's going to become the new 2027 goal. It'd be cool if I could look ahead 5 years. You know what I mean? Right now I'm only within the year, but it'd be cool if 1 year I was like, man, I can't wait for set my 2030 goal in 2027. You know what I mean? Or something like that. That's only 3 years, Dirk. Whatever. Listen, we're capping this off with a run. I hope y'all enjoyed. Let's get some bangers going. Let's go for a run. I'm going to fix the lighting in here because one of my lights just went out for some reason. Let's go, baby. I'm fired up. I gotta find a banger, an absolute banger. Let's fucking go, baby. We running in 2026. God. What a blessed life. What is my life? Holy shit. What is my life? I hope all y'all blessed people dream so fucking big that you don't accomplish your goals in 2026. That's what I challenge you. All right, y'all. I'm signing off for the year. Remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. If you want to be the best fucking version of yourself, what are you doing every single day to make that happen? How will you create a system so that it is inevitable for you to succeed and do what you wish you would have done last year? The only promises that matter are keeping the ones you made to yourself. Stop relying on willpower. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for your conditions to be perfect. Perfect your conditions. All right, y'all. Nothing changes, nothing changes. I love you guys so much. What is my life? What is my fucking life? I love y'all.